What is up, YouTube? And today we are going to be looking at a free-to-play friendly NicoNana Inferno auto team that is utilizing 3 SR characters and 1 R character. Now this run has a pretty high win rate. You can only really lose to really bad RNG, but this team comp is going to be very safe to use, and it's going to be very low investment in terms of gear and stat requirements. So the main DPS we're using is Fangus. All you need on him is Swift Rush, and then what you need is 3 effect accuracy pieces because all of his damage will come from applying his dots. Dots are really good, especially when you have bad gear, because it does percent max HP damage. So you're just playing a time game and slowly whittling down the boss, which makes this run pretty easy. You just have to survive long enough for your dots to kill him. Basically, for skill enhances, you just want to max your S1 and S2. This will make your dots land as frequently as possible. I don't really think there's an option around this because it's very important to make sure that you are, 1, getting more follow-up attacks after an ally attacks, and also you want to have the highest chance to land the dot when you do that follow-up attack. So you pretty much need this maxed out, both of these maxed out actually, and all you need, like I said, is speed and effect accuracy. Now for your shell, you want to run him on Artisan. There's no other choice. If you don't run him on Artisan, he's going to end up dying a lot because he's pretty squishy. So because of that, you definitely want Artisan to make some tankier with defense buff, and also he'll get a shield for himself and another ally, which makes him a good user on this that can sustain his team and himself. Now for your main healer, you're going to bring Chiaki. Now red Chiaki is extremely good if you're free to play, just because she's a very powerful healer. Even if you have Ling Luo, you still need to build your Chiaki if you don't have Mia, who's an SSR red healer. And that's because you will need to bring Chiaki with Ling Luo in Aurora, especially for Inferno. And in Terramaton, because Ling Luo is blue and she gets pretty much one bang there, Chiaki will be a very good healer for that. She's going to be on a pretty simple build, Swift Rush as well. You just need her on tanky main stat pieces on the right side. Having her decently fast will make your runs more consistent because she cycles quicker. In terms of skill enhances, I have none invested, but I recommend eventually maxing her S3 and her S1. Her S2 doesn't really matter too much. You don't really care about her using this, to be honest. What you're really looking for is just getting as many stacks of Origami Guardian out, which will reduce your damage taken. So because of that, definitely recommend S3 and S1 maxed. Her healing from her S2 is nice to get, especially with the cooldown, but you're never going to really use her as the only healer. So because of that reason, just, having the maximum of stacks out from your Origami Guardian from your S3 and S1 is the highest priority. Now for your shell, I have her on Supernova. This is going to be probably not her best shell because she doesn't heal that much, and you're not going to really actually apply this too often, but it is a decent option. You can run her on another Artisan if you want. Fortissimo, which drops from Rengokutsu, if you can farm it, is a good option as well. But Supernova is okay, Artisan's okay as well. They're all good choices. Now for your 2 other characters, the first one we're going to be using is Kachi the Guard. This guy is a monster. You need his S3 maxed out. You want this maxed because you want him to actually crit with his S3. This will give you a 3-turn defense buff and 2-turn immunity, which is insane for the boss. The boss does a lot of damage, and also the boss has a defense break and a lot of stuns. This immunity will cut out all that RNG, so it makes it very good. You will need 182 effect accuracy to ensure that he crits with his S3. We're too short, whatever, not going to be the end of the world, it's fine. Just get as close as you can, and for speed, you want to be decently fast. Ideally, you actually want him to be like 240, 250 speed, so he outspeeds the ads, so you don't get stunned at the start of battle. For consistency reasons, wow, English is hard, but this works as well, it's whatever. Him being slower won't kill you, it'll just make the runs a little bit less consistent at the start of the battle, but for a beginner build, this is probably what you want to aim for. Shell, I like to have him on Gigabyte, just to cycle faster. You can put him on another Artisan. Honestly, you can put all 4 of these characters on Artisan and it'll be fine. But you probably don't have 4 built up because you're not going to just be spamming Artisans only, right? That's kind of a waste of materials at the start of the account progression. So Gigabyte's okay. You probably are going to have 1 built up anyways. Otherwise, anything like an Artisan or even a Jackal Guard is okay as well. Now for Vice, this is the last character. You're going to bring him as well. You want to max out his skills. It's very easy to max it out. You just have to buy those micro lattices from the exchange shop. And he also is going to be pretty cheap to prowess up. Now, if you can't max him, because I think you can only get 10 a week, just max his skill 2 first and then his S1. And then as S3, you're going to want to get to as high as you can for now, and then max it out eventually. For his stats, pretty simple. Effect accuracy as well. You're going to see like all three of these characters on the same build. You just want effect accuracy, and then like effect accuracy main stat, and then like, you know, speed on Swift Rush set. And if you can't really get good Swift Rush effect accuracy pieces, it's okay. You can see I'm literally just leveling these effect accuracy pieces that are like yellow or higher. Ideally, you want it to be pink or higher, to be honest. But I'm doing it because effect accuracy pieces, they're like really annoying to get sometimes. And it kind of make or breaks a lot of characters if you can't get 3 of them on the character. Vice, even Catchy, and even Fangus are all in the same boat. You really need 3 effect accuracy pieces, so leveling up trash ones for now is fine. Just make sure that they're all on it and they're decently fast. In terms of speed tuning, it does not really matter. You just want all of your characters to be above like 220 speed, and you'll be good to go. 220 speed's easily attainable. Just go 12 Swift Rush, you know, get your shell to level 40, and then roll Shadow Dash on the second one, and you'll be above 210 at least very easily, and the rest you can get from substats. Vice is also on Artisan. Artisan is always good if you're doing tough content, you're finding yourself dying, because the shield you get is crazy. I think Vice cannot be on anything but Artisan because he taunts the boss, so he takes the majority of the damage. So you definitely want him on Artisan, and you know, the other shells I mentioned before, but you're going to want at least 2 Artisans on this team no matter what. 1 on Fangus, 1 on Vice. These are pretty much required. The other 2 shells are more flexible in what you want to run. But I'll show you guys the run and how it goes. It's pretty simple. You're just kind of whittling down the boss with follow-up attacks and dots here. And you can see that it'll be... it can be a pretty long fight, especially because I am on a very free-to-play under-geared account. But the run itself is going to be pretty simple here. You're going to see the defense buff is going to keep us alive. Catchy also has a pushback, Vice has one as well, and because Vice provokes the boss over and over, whenever he lands a debuff, he'll actually heal the team, which is very nice, but also he will force the boss to attack him, so that makes it so that your Fangus won't just randomly die. So you'll see the boss takes its turn, it's going to hit the Vice here, and we are basically just going to be healing ourselves up permanently with Chiaki and Vice, and he gets stunned, which is very annoying. But if you get higher speed, and later on if you change your Catchy the Guard to Time Weave, a 12-12 Swift Rush Time Weave, he will be resetting his cooldown very often and make it so that you actually can keep up immunity almost permanently on this boss. And you can see even though it looks scary there from my Fangus for a second, the Artisan shields are coming out, and then we are slowly healing up while the shields are still on our team. And of course, the taunt from Vice makes it so that very, very safe. My team can't really get sniped out here. As long as your Fangus stays alive with 1 healer, you always have a chance to win. And a lot of damage comes out, but it is okay. We have Vice taking his turn. He's going to heal a bit. Gets stunned again, which is very annoying, but it is still fine. The S3 off. The boss is taunted. It goes on Vice. Artisan shield comes out, and now Vice should have his S3. Yep. Vice's S3 is also very good because it has attack down on the boss, so it stops it from doing a lot of damage. And we are just constantly taunting, constantly healing up the damage, putting up our defense and immunity when it's up. And at the same time, every time we attack the boss, we are applying dots at a chance if our Fangus decides to play the game and wants to follow up. But yeah, this is probably going to be the easiest to build team for your first Inferno content. NicoNana is going to be the first area of Inferno content you'll be able to farm. And this is like the bare minimum, I'd say, for gear requirements. As you start getting more gear from farming Hell thresholds, you'll make this run a lot more safer, a lot more stable, and you'll be able to farm the Inferno shells from this boss and then start progressing into harder and harder content. The boss should fall here with the dots, and you can see the run looks scary at times, but when running it on this account, I was at like an 85% win rate with this gear, and I can imagine once I get better gear, it'll be even better and a lot more stable. But yeah, that is the NicoNana Inferno run on this account, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe for more content on free-to-play accounts like this, and I'll see you guys next video.